Monetary equilibrium 2.5. Still talking about money, creation and destruction. That's the chapter over there. And this is about, yeah, finding balance, finding an equilibrium. So, finding equilibrium starts with comparing expenditure with income. So income is the thing we earn, of course, and our expenses are listed on the left-hand side of the equation. We have E and we have Y. Expenditure, or the money we spend, can be divided into two concepts. We have consumption and investments. Income earned, obviously, is our income. Then we can actually say that, okay, um, last year we saw that we often used Y over here to start with our equation, and now we can see, okay, C plus I will be this over here. Income earned is C plus S. What's S? S is about savings. So because the income we earn will be spent on consumption and savings, so we put everything over here. We see C plus I matches with C plus S, and in the end that we see that planned investments equal planned savings. So the money that is being saved will be going to investments, and that's how this system works. Okay. Now, the thing is, it is possible we have a monetary imbalance because when talking about investments and savings, we can look at households, we can look at companies, we can look at everything in our monetary system. Um, so a monetary imbalance already tells you something that there is a problem going on, right? I will actually perhaps maybe print or put this in Paint so I can write on the slide. That might be helpful for you guys. So we'll do it like that. I will go to Paint. Oh, my Paint is still full of junk from the previous video. I will put it over here. You can already think about the answers that are going to follow. Scenario 2 we have as well. And then I can go back to my Paint file. And then I have this thing over here. Great stuff. Okay. All right. So if the expenditures were higher than the income, we have a problem, obviously. So what now? Expenditures higher than income. Um, this might happen when, let's go with the red color, too much money was present. So we had a lot of money laying around, and we suddenly decided to spend all of it. So too much money was present, which caused an increase in expenditure. The thing is, people might have predicted an increase in prices. And we already know that if people expect an increase in prices, they will start to spend more and more money, which increase their spending, which we call squandering money. Squandering is verkwisten in Dutch. They just throw it all out the window and they just spend, spend, spend because they are expecting an increase in prices. So right now, their expenditures are higher than their income. Might be the case they used borrowed money to buy more stuff right now. Second case could happen when too much money was being hoarded. So too much money was hoarded or being hoarded. You can choose over there. I will write being hoarded over on this line. It's a bit too big. I'll write it over here. So too much money was being hoarded, which caused a decrease in expenditure. People might have predicted a drop in prices. It's the opposite from the previous example, which causes them to save their money or hoard their money. Once again, if you think that beautiful television of you that you always wanted is going to drop in price because of Black Friday, you will postpone your purchase and you will only buy it when the TV drops in price, right? Um, thing is, if we look at this from a bigger perspective, if there is a monetary imbalance, the government has to act. and all the actions she will perform to do so are called monetary policy. So everything we're about to do has to do with monetary policy. So if I go back to my slides over here, you see a lot of things over here. So monetary policy, we have some scenarios and some explanation what we can do. So in the first case, when E is greater than Y, in this case, total demand is way too high. People are squandering their money. They're spending everything. Even if the entire production capacity is being utilized, demand will not be satisfied. So people want to buy so much goods and services right now, and our production apparatus cannot follow along. How can the government do something about it? So spending is too high. Well, what you could do is, let me tell you, I can also write it down for you if you want to. I will just do that. That makes things easier for you, I think. So let's go back to Paint, put it over here, maybe over here, and I will destroy my previous things. So what can she do? She has to slow down the economy right now because it's overheating. People are spending way too much money too fast, and this is dangerous. If demand becomes too high and production stays the same, inflation can um, be generated, and we want to avoid that. So what she can do is she can slow down demand by decreasing the money supply. By decreasing the money supply, you can write MS or M, you already know that. How can she do this? We already saw this in the previous video. She can actually, let's say, sell bonds to banks to extract money from the system. There's too much money. She can also perhaps ask higher interest rates. This will also scare people to borrow more money because it's way more expensive right now. This will also slow down the economy. These are some examples you can remember, okay? Very important ones. Then on the other side of the story, these two are completely different. Is there something like a double arrow in Paint? I don't think so, so I will make my own double arrow. Oh, this is beautiful. Let's make it perfect, just like that. So this is the opposite right now, scenario 2. I will use a green color for that. So it could also be the case that um, demand is way too low and the entire production capacity is not being utilized. So the economy is struggling with high unemployment. So what can the government do? The exact opposite, of course. She will actually stimulate demand by increasing the money supply. How can she do this? She can perform an open market operation. In this case, she will buy bonds from banks, 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 banks. So this will inject the economy with freshly printed money. She could also lower the interest rates to stimulate more investments and stuff. Interest rates, interest, that's wrong. Interest rates. That's it. So these are very important. Then the ideal scenario is that these things are equal. But this is not always quite realistic, but it could be the case that demand satisfies supply. This should be supply. This is wrong. Um, Supply satisfies demand. So this should be supply. Let's say that's correct. So let's change that up. Supply satisfies demand, but that the equilibrium is deemed too low. So there is a equilibrium right now, but the monetary policy makers are like, the European equilibrium is quite low if we compare it with the American one. we want to stimulate everything even more. So this means both expenditure and production are quite low right now, and unemployment might be still a problem. So what can she do about this? Well, she has to do something completely else right now. Let's use a purple color for this, or orange. I like orange. So in this case, she can do the following thing. She will have to stimulate, once again, economic activity. That's very important because this will increase demand, right? But this will require um, this. Oh, that's oh this. I'm doing some weird ass stuff. Oh, I can't type anymore. What? I did something wrong, guys. I have no idea what I did, but oh, I think I fixed it. I fixed it. Yeah, sorry, I used I cursed over there. Sorry. So requires this requires a higher level, a higher level of production, right? To satisfy demand. In the end, we will have less unemployment. Let me explain that for you. So, once again, there is a equilibrium between expenditures and the income earned, but the equilibrium is fairly low. And in order to remain competitive, or maybe to stimulate like employment, you want higher employment, you have to give everything a boost. So stimulating economic activity will increase demand. This requires a higher level of production to satisfy demand, and companies will be like, okay, demand went up. In order to make more money, we'll have to employ more people, make some investments, so we can actually earn more money and satisfy demand, which will give a great boost to the economy, and both E and Y will go up, and you will have a higher equilibrium. If you're unlucky, you might cause an imbalance, and you might cause E to go up instead of I, or Y, I mean. So yeah, just note that these are the tools a monetary policy has. Oh, look at this. This is from a previous video. Go away. Okay, so now if we look at the slides once again, we notice that the government has a toolkit. She has several tools she can use in order to do what she does. So if you look over here, the interest policy, I talked about interest rates is the most important one. Think about COVID-19. We all know this thing. Apparently, I did some research and I found this on the website of the ECB. And as you can see, are measures to support the euro area economy, helping the economy absorb the shock of the current crisis, keeping borrowing affordable, which means interest rates are kept low, supporting access to credit for firms and households, so investments can keep happening, for example, ensuring short-term concerns do not prevent lending. Um, yeah, they want to make sure banks keep lending money because it's so crucial. As you saw with the Walter example from previous video, increasing the bank's lending capacity, this might actually mean they will lower the reserve ratios. So banks are lending more money. So the credit multiplier is enlarged. As you can see, everything is coming together. Preserving financial stability through international cooperation, yeah, just working together with other countries to combat the virus. So they are doing stuff, right? This is also in your textbook, I believe. This is the one about the interest rates, right? I clicked on this one, and I also have incorporated this, or I included this in your textbooks, so you can see what they mean with, oh, okay, then apparently the red arrow is not about the keeping borrowing affordable. It's about increasing banks' lending capacity. So We are being temporarily less strict about the amount of funds or capital that banks are required to hold. So the reserves are lower right now, as you can see. Um, so this deals with the thing we saw. Cool, right? So now you know how this works. I think that's amazing. Um, an important one, we already saw this. The open market policy is actually quite the same as the OMO, the open market operation. Um, yeah, paste should be placed. So this PowerPoint is full of like these typos. Sorry about that. But the place the arrows correctly if E is lower than Y. This is an assignment you have to do in your textbooks. You can think about this. So expenditures are lower than the income. So people are hoarding money. If people are hoarding money right now, what can the government do or what can the ECB do? So that's the thing you have to do over here. Okay, I'm not going to give you the solution. You have to think about it, and we will handle this exercise in class. The next video will be about inflation and deflation. So from this part, what's really important is that know what a government or the ECB can do. Note that in different scenarios, different measures are required. That's very important. Think about the interest rates. That's one of the biggest ones, of course. Think about the scenarios as a whole, and that's it. So here you have your. So when I talk about the monetary policy and the imbalances, you have to know what I'm referring to. Okay, I managed to keep this video underneath 20 minutes, which makes me very proud of myself. And I will see you in the video about inflation and deflation, also very important. Until then.